You know, I don't like typically drink, but I saw all these videos. Kingdom Hearts, the story explained. Kingdom Hearts, the story so far. Kingdom Hearts story recap. And that's all perfectly fine, but it's a silly series with a lot of silly characters, so I figured if I'm gonna do this, I gotta get a little silly myself. And I found that silly in a bottle of white wine, so why don't you come with me? Oh yeah, and when I say from my memory, I have not played any of these games since they came out. I replayed 2 and Birth by Sleep last year, I think. So this is going to be a fun little journey. So why don't you come with me and you'll see, as I probably get a lot wrong. Kingdom Hearts Union Cross Key back cover, whatever. It has like 3 different names. Long time ago, there was this era called the Age of Fairy Tales, and a lot of people there could use keyblades, and keyblades are like swords, but they're shaped like keys. And sometimes they can do like key-related magic like open doors, but mainly people just hit each other with them. And most of the Keyblade wielders worked under the 5 fortune tellers, foretellers, and they were a group of furries who work under the Master of Masters or the Mommy. And he's a little bit goofy, not Big G Goofy, which is Goofy's 90s rap album, but lowercase adjective Goofy because he's a little silly. And he's also got this book that lets him see in the future. And he's like, oh, a bunch of bad stuff's going to happen. Also, there's a traitor amongst you. Figure that out. And they try to, but they end up fighting amongst each other, which causes all the Keyblade wielders to fight amongst each other, which causes the Keyblade War. And the Keyblade War causes almost everybody to die, and causes light to shatter into 7 pieces, and the darkness to shatter into 13 pieces, and I think Kingdom Hearts gets made somehow. Birth by Sleep. Fast forward to the future, now there's this bad man called Xehanort, and he's super evil. I mean, just look at him. He's bald, and he's got evil pulsing through his veins, and he does this really evil thing with his hands.
Master Terra, you must hurry back and see to your friend's safety.
Nobody that does something like that with their hands can be good. It's just simple math, really. So he finds this kid named Ventus, and Ventus, for some reason, has the Keyblade in him. And now the Keyblade isn't the same thing as before. It's spelled X-Blade, and it's like a sword, but it's still called a Keyblade because Nomura can't just let a thing be a thing. It's also got to be another thing. And he wants a Keyblade because somehow he can use it to cause calamity with Kingdom Hearts. And he wants calamity because last time there was a bunch of calamity with the Keyblade War, it created Kingdom Hearts. So he's like, well, if I do a bunch of bad stuff now, I bet I get some new dank stuff. He does the extraction bad, though, so he makes an evil version of Ventus instead called Vanitas, who looks like Sora for some reason, because Nomura can't just let a character be a character. He's also got to be a bunch of other characters. And then he takes Ventus to his former friend, Iroquois. Don't worry about him. He dies in like 2 scenes, spoilers or whatever. And he's like, here, I got this kid for you. Why don't you train him? And Master Iroquois is like, even though you used to dabble with evil, I trust you fully. So he takes in Ventus and trains him along with his 2 other pupils, which are Terra, who's just a dumb, stupid sack of bricks who deserves to die because he gets tricked by like 12 other people in this game. And then you got Aqua, who's Best Girl, and they all want to become the Keyblade Masters as well. So they take the Keyblade trial, and only Aqua passes because she's Best Girl, unlike that stupid Terra. But Terra's all angry about this, so he runs off. And then, like, a lot of game happens. It's mostly just, like, fixing dresses and stuff. It doesn't matter until we get to the ending. The entire ending sequence is probably with that CG you've seen before. And they fight, and the end result is Ventus is put into a coma. Vanitas is killed. Terra's body gets taken over by Xehanort, but because of Terra's lingering, well, he ends up partially fighting off Xehanort, causing nobody to take control, and they lose their memories, and he becomes Terranort, and Aqua is sent to the Shadow Realm. Kingdom Hearts 1, and point to a fragmentary passage, which I just want to point out. Why is it not point 9? It takes place in the final 2 hours of Kingdom Hearts 1. Point 2, it implies it takes place in like the beginning. That doesn't make no gosh dang dim damn sense. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong though. So Kingdom Hearts 1 stars Sora, who's a good little Christian boy with some big ol' feet, and Kairi, who's a girl, and Riku, who's a mean little edgelord, and both of the boys want to bang Kairi, but she isn't really seem that interested in them that way. So they all want to go off sailing. But then the darkness comes to their island. And because I forgot to say this before, Terra and Aqua gave Riku and Sora the ability to use Keyblades. They can use the Keyblades and they fight off the darkness. But all three get separated. Sora ends up meeting Goofy and Donald and Mickey. And they go have fun adventures. And I don't really remember what happens to Kairi, honestly. And Riku meets Ansem, who's the nobody evil version of Xehanort. And he's like, hey, Riku, do you want to go get some thick bitches and a bunch of money and drive fast cars? And Riku's like, yeah. So then they go off and be evil together. And then eventually they have to fight each other, Riku and Sora. But Sora's like, but friendship, Riku. And Riku's like, oh yeah. And they end up teaming up together to fight Ansem. And while this is happening, it's revealed Aqua was kind of just hanging out in the Shadow Realm. And Mickey gets knocked through a portal to the Shadow Realm. And he loses his shirt. And that's really the only reason Point 2 exists, to explain why Mickey doesn't have his shirt. So he comes back with a shirt, without a shirt still. And they fight Ansem and beat him. And that's Kingdom Hearts 1. Chain and Rechain of Memories. So Sora and Donald and Goofy all go to this place called Castle Oblivion. And there they start losing their memories and stuff. And they meet this girl named Naminé. And Naminé is like, hey, sorry about you losing their memories. That's my bad. Also, I'm a nobody of Kairi. So I'm going to fix this. But Sora, you need to get into this egg for 2 years. So that you can like sleep and whatever. Also, Riku and Mickey Mouse shake hands in their hearts. And they meet Diz, and that's pretty much it. It's just set up for other games. I didn't like Chain of Memories. 365 divided by 2 days. So we got some new characters. First off, we got our new main boy, Roxas, and he's a nobody, a Sora, and that's why his name is Sora with an X in it. And then we got Xion, and Xion's like a half clone and half nobody version of Sora. And then we got Axel, who's just a regular old nobody as somebody else. And they just spend the next 40 hours hanging out on the clock tower eating sea salt ice cream. And then Xion dies, and it's very sad. Kingdom's Hot 2. After a very long and boring segment, Roxas finds out that he's a nobody of Sora, and Sora like takes over, and then he goes off on an adventure to try and fight Organization 13. And Organization 13 has been like the mastermind between all the bad stuff that's going on. And they're made up of 13 nobodies. And their leader is Xemnas, who is the nobody of Terranort. And it turns out Diz is Ansem, not Ansem bad guy, Ansem the wise, who's just kind of a regular dude. And he's trying to help them fight Organization 13. And Riku shows up and he's like, I conquered the darkness. I'm no longer an edgelord. And then he also helps. And then Kairi can use the Keyblade now. So now she's a good guy. And they fight Organization 13. And they beat him. Kingdom Hearts Recoded. I don't remember, to be completely honest, like anything about this game. Dream Drop Distance. So despite the fact that Sora and Riku are clearly way more competent than pretty much everyone else besides like Mickey. Like, I mean, everyone else got killed, so clearly they're way better. Yancey disagrees. He's like, you suck, and I'm gonna make you 13. Okay, bye. And then they fight Ursula, even though she died in a previous game. I think 2. I think. And then he sends them to the dream world, and there they see Vanitas. And I don't know how Venus is alive. I still don't. And then they keep on going, and then they find Organization 13 again. They are like, oh, we're all half Xehanort now. And then you see Xehanort, he shows up, he's separate from Terranort. And he's like, I use these people to be my 13 pieces of darkness. And he does. He uses them. But he needs Sora for something. I don't know. And then you fight Terranort, and Terranort uses like time manipulation. And you find out that Xehanort as Ansem, where Ansem, nobody version of Xehanort, traveled in time and told a young Xehanort to do all this stuff. And that's how, I guess, Ursula is brought back along with Vanitas, is through time travel. This has been Kingdom Hearts. So this white wine's pretty good. It's a nice Pinot Gris. It's got a little bit of smoothness to it generally, with a tiny bit of ting at the end. It leaves a nice aftertaste. This has been Seymour's Wine Corner. Join me next year when I have some Chardonnay, probably, or red wine. I don't know. I'm falling asleep.